wait is over. Tesla shareholders have overwhelmingly approved CEO Elon Musk's record-breaking decadal pay package of $1 trillion. The shareholders have in effect reaffirmed their faith in Musk's elaborate plans to propel Tesla beyond electric vehicles into artificial intelligence and robotics. OpenAI's video generation platform Sora is now open for Android users in US, Canada, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam. The software was earlier launched only in iOS format this September. Soon after the launch of Sora, it rose to the top charts on App Store. It's now available to users on Android platforms too. Good news for Indian consumers. ChatGPT Go from November 4th this week has become free for Indian users for 1 full year. A ChatGPT Go subscription includes features that come with the free plan as well as extended access to GPT-5. And if you're one who swears by Apple products, there's something for you to cheer about this week. WhatsApp has officially launched its dedicated Apple Watch app, bringing a more complete messaging experience to the smartwatch users for the very first time. In addition, users can now react to messages with quick emoji responses and enjoy a better media experience, displaying clear images and stickers on the watch screen itself. Google Maps is set to become hands-free. Google is now adding Gemini to Maps in India. Google Gemini in Maps will be available to all Android as well as iOS users in India too in coming weeks. In the AI race, Apple and Google seem to be collaborating. The company is planning to pay as much as $1 billion a year for an ultra-powerful 1.2 trillion parameter artificial intelligence model developed by Alphabet. The iPhone maker is banking on Google's help to rebuild Siri's underlying technology, setting the stage for a new slate of features next year. But there's bad news for Nvidia following CEO Jensen Huang's statements warning of US getting left behind China in global chip domination. Beijing's new mandate requires all state-supported data center projects to immediately transition to domestically produced AI chips. Further, initiatives that are less than 30% complete must halt implementation of foreign semiconductor technology. This policy effectively blocks Nvidia from substantial segments of China's expanding computing infrastructure market. Hi there, you're watching News 9 and welcome to yet another edition of the AI Report. On this show, we tell you all that's trending in the world of AI and all the news that broke in the world of technology. So stay tuned with us for the very first story that we will now dive into. Well, have you as a user ever been faced with a situation where you've placed an order on, let's say, a Blinkit or a Swiggy Instamart and have had to return that order? Now, chances are if you did that, you went through a chat window, you put in your queries on that chat window and maybe uploaded a few images, and eventually the responses that you got were not from a human being but from an AI-driven bot. Now, welcome to the world of Agentic AI. These are agents which are trained on the SOPs, on the operational matters, as well as on understanding what consumers are telling them in whichever language and making sense of it, reconciling it with all that they have learned, those machines have learned through the process of machine learning, and voila, you have your refund credited back into your account. Now cut to another industry altogether. Let's say you have a banking query. Chances are, again, you've gone onto that banking app or onto the website and you've put in that query in a chat window. Now, the person responding on the other side is indeed not a person, but an agentic AI, an AI-driven bot, which is understanding your query and is telling you what to do or how to proceed with your request. Now, it goes a little further beyond that, and this is the world which bankers refer to as invisible banking, where these agentic AI bots are not just there to enhance your customer experience for a mundane query, but also going ahead and suggesting to you what kind of investments you should make, what your risk profile is. And the big question arises from all of this is that you, as a banker, you as somebody with money in your bank, should you trust these bots with your investment decisions? Now, cut to a few more steps further. Can this agentic AI model also penetrate the larger investment ecosystem where it's not human beings who are managing your portfolios, it's not human beings who are constructing these funds, these mutual funds, but indeed all this work is being done by bots? Well, let's try and decode all that's happening in the world of finance and investment with the use of Agentic AI. And joining us on the show today is a very special guest. We've got Asutosh Mishra, the head of institutional equity research at Ashika Stock Broking. Thank you so much for your time, Asutosh. It's a pleasure having you on the show. First, tell us from the inside.
Thank you.
How exactly is the world of finance and institutional investing evolving in the context of ML and then Agentic AI?
So surely, agentic AI use is still not much, but ML and a lot of other use, such as earlier when we used to get the management interview or transcript, or comparing the 5 or 6 transcript or annual report, we used to go manually with each other. Now we are using just a few prompts, trying to understand what the management has stated on the different con calls, and trying to compare it, preparing a table much faster than what we used to take for 5 6 hours. Now we are able to do it in 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. So it has improved our efficiency. At the same time, if you see the number of company which is becoming larger, or investable world has increased substantially. So in a way, it is making us more efficient. It is in a way it is helping us to deliver much better information to the investor class at a much faster way. So when I was discussing the same thing with one of my team members, so it was something like that. No, equity research was going on before the Excel sheet was also there. So
Right.
people used to do a lot of calculations, and then they used to buy and sell shares. With coming of Excels, we are able to do things much more efficiently.
Right.
Similarly, uh, the AI is going to help improve our efficiency substantial. It is not going to remove our work out there, but yes, there are many misuse of the AI, which we can discuss in later part of it.
All right, so let's actually dive straight into it because you're comparing AI with Excel, and Excel at the end of the day required a human being to study those financials, to understand using their own judgment on what the management commentary is, and then feed in that data manually, feed in those variables manually into the Excel sheet, add formulae like probability of an incident or an event happening, and thereby using a good mix of what that human inputted data is giving you and sort of juxtaposing it with your overall understanding of the industry and the company. But here we are talking about just getting a transcript, getting the financials, putting them in an engine, and that engine generating those results. In your experience, what is the kind of error rate and what is the kind of efficiency and accuracy with which the job which you're saying is now done in 5 minutes? What is the kind of error rate that creeps in?
So, see, one of the most important part when we listen to any of the management, or when we try to understand any of the annual report, is not about only about that particular annual report or that company. We need to understand the tone of the management. We need to understand whether what they are speaking is, collaborating with the external market environment or not. Suppose today, there can be 5 outcome from the, or different outcome from the U.S. Supreme Court on a whether Trump administration has the authority to levy the tariff, or
Yep.
Congress has the authority to that.
Right.
So AI can give us a multiple option. Which option suits us is still a human need to take decision on. So
Okay.
that is still with the human part of it, and
Okay.
that's why valuations and another important part. Which what how you value Landscart, how you value Sturt is still live with the human being at that. So what argument is there for that? So it helps us to collect the point in a much better way and help us to make a much better decision. But ultimate, the major call of what valuation you want to give, whether outcome of the event, whatever it will come, how market will react or how the behavioral impact will come is still with the human part of it. So that's why it's helping us more in taking decision better and putting the thing across in a much better way.
Right. So sure. So that is the sort of journey that
Yeah,
that big investment banks are taking, and of course institutional equity broking houses like yours are doing. But I want to talk about the retail investor. I want to first start with the example of banks, for example. So you've got the Bank of Baroda, which has an agentic AI called Aditi. You have ICICI Bank, which has an agentic bot called iPal. You have HDFC Bank, which has an agentic AI called Eva, and the list goes on and on. Now, as long as the queries from retail users is subject to, let's say, just upgrading a debit card or applying for a new credit card, it's all understandable. It's all enhancing consumer experience. You don't have to visit the bank. Those days were over perhaps a decade ago. You don't even actually have to pick up a phone anymore. But imagine these bots now telling you that, hey, perhaps you should not park so much money in a fixed deposit. Rather, you should look at partaking in, let's say, the investment journey via mutual funds and making those recommendations on which mutual funds suit the risk profile of the user. Is that taking machine learning and agentic AI too far, or do you think it's pretty much in line with the progress of the banking industry?
I think it is line with the progress. Banking industry also has to evolve along with that. So like I was going through one of AI samples where AI was suggesting to the depositor that you have earning just 3.5% on this saving bank deposit if you have put this money in a one mutual fund, or they are suggesting 5 6 options at that point of time. So it even for the banks, if suppose they give this type of access to the customer, probably they will start losing some of their customer also. So AI is not that you only improve at one side, it's also creates some problems for your own. So how they handle this part of it, okay, you are giving every option to that, but when depositor will ask, please compare my deposit, the bank giving me whatever the bank interest rate is giving to me, what compared to the other industry player, if AI give the negative answer to it, how that bank is going to handle that part of it. So
Right.
so there are interesting part in that, this discussion.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want those agentic AIs becoming rogue agents and really getting customers to quit after seeing that perhaps the AI is giving a result which is counterproductive to the bank's own use case of getting those bots in the first place. Now, let's talk about AMCs, for example, and that would be an industry that you would be perhaps observing a little more closely than banks. And so, fund management is this high profile task where you want these geeks to be really looking at every minute number and creating a fund which can then generate alpha for the retail investors. Now, in the case of fund management, let's say at AMCs, is there a case where artificial intelligence is actually prompting fund managers that, hey, get rid of this stock from this fund and add something else which is likely to give you better results? Is that already playing out in the world of AMCs?
It is playing out in the walls of AMC. They are getting a lot of AI related input out there, that AI is suggesting that, okay, there is a high volumes or something is happening on these stocks. Please look at this. So there are different automated screeners which they are putting it, and which are giving them a indication that something is happening in this stock. Please take action on that front. So this is going to help us a lot. I think in the AMC this is going to help, because they have to now look at much larger investment space, and for taking the call there they need some additional hand, or much faster way to execute that. So I think one of the famous fund managers only has tweeted yesterday that if you rank all the company in a market cap order in 2017, the 500th stock was 500th ranked stock was at a, I think 3,000 crore market cap. Today it is roughly 9,000 market cap. So
Wow.
so this type of, like, no, we have expanded our market in a big way, and in that they also need support, because they are also human being and they need support to handle such a large quantum of companies. uh, if you go back to 17 18, roughly mutual fund used to invest in 150 stocks, something like that. Today they are investing roughly approx 8 to 900 stocks. So how they can take a call? So much of information is coming together. So some real help is required, which AI is now helping them, and that's why adaptation of AI is so faster among every one of us. We all of us have less time, and in that less time, we have a more information and data. So how to process the data? So their AI is helping us rather than no. It is instead of playing a negative role, I finding it more of a positive role at this point of time.
Right. So there's obviously operational efficiency which is at play, but of course, perhaps a simple answer to why you're not getting the kind of responses you got earlier was perhaps these big tech companies want you to take the higher tier plans and pay a lot more to get those better responses. So that's another story which is playing out in the world of AI. But two more quick questions before I let you go, Ashutosh. The first one happens to be around this entire regulatory framework. So we know banks are very well regulated by the central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, and fund managers, AMCs are very well regulated by SEBI. Is there something that needs to be done about regulation around AI being used by the banks and the AMCs?
I think regulator will take some, both SEBI and RBI are very evolving regulators, and they will take some, action, especially if they found that something is not working in the right directions.
Mhm.
At this point of time, RBI, especially, and RBI and SEBI both have sandbox prepared in their respective compliance department, where they are testing many of these AI related things, and wherever they are actively indicating banks and AMCs, if there is something they are finding that something may have a negative impact at this point of time. So this is
Right.
evolving situation, and both of the regulators are very evolved, and they clearly have a communication with the players, and we need to evolve, and we need to come out like whole. If you look at a few years back, when RBI start putting lot of restrictions on banks because they were not upgrading their IT infrastructure in a similar way.
Right.
So they have put restriction on HDFC banks. So many
I
banks are
remember.
where the server down was coming up. So
Yeah.
similar type of things we may find the regulator may start, if they find that something wrong is going on with AI at this point of time. So let's see. This will be an open-ended thing in the for future, but I think this is a good thing which is happening. That volume of at least if you ask me personally, I am relieved a lot more, because like before coming to your interview, I just asked Bro a question that what is the trend of AI on a global front? What is in Europe? What is in Asia? And what is in India? And I got all the summary in a 15-minute time, and
So AI prepared you very
if
well
I
to talk on AI.
yeah, and if I had done this, I think 2 year back, then probably it has taken me a day or two to complete this thing.
Absolutely. And my final question to you, Ashutosh, data security, especially financial data security, given the fact that machine learning happens on the basis of data, at the end of the day, there is user data being fed into those algorithms to learn and evolve. What if any of those agents decide to go rogue and sell that on the dark web? Is that a genuine concern that the industry is grappling with?
That's genuine concern is there regarding that. So data security will always be a concern, and the way many breaches is happening, that will be remain the key concern out there. Uh, uh, on a pure equity or AMC front of it, many of if I look from my area where I work, we normally work from public data front. So it's more, I don't see any major risk coming on that part of it. But where it is banks or even from the AMC customer point of view, if no if this agentic AI, someone is able to breach them because they are online, so they someone able to breach them, able to take out the client data and sell them on a dark web, then it has its own risk, which organization has to look into.
Absolutely. So those questions still remain unanswered. But for today, thank you so much, Ashutosh Mishra. It was a pleasure talking to you right here on the AI Report.
Thank you.
And with that, we will slip into a short break. A lot more coming up in the world of AI on the other side of the break. You're watching the AI Report right here on News 9.